The man raised a whip, ready to be his wife. Unbeknownst to him, his wife was being framed by his ex-wife. Just when the woman was most helpless, a subordinate sent by the divine doctor arrived in time. After the woman was helped to her feet, she said one sentence: "The 6-year agreement is finally over." This sentence left the man puzzled about its meaning. In fact, the woman had cared for the man and his son for 6 years, solely to fulfill her agreement with the divine doctor. Years ago, the divine doctor had saved the woman's husband, on the condition that the woman would care for the man and his son for 6 years. Now that the 6-year term had ended, the woman publicly announced that she and the man were no longer bound in any relationship. But the man insisted that the woman was his wife. He absolutely refused to allow his wife to be taken away. At this point, the divine doctor's subordinate said they had never obtained a marriage certificate and were not legally married. Therefore, the man had no right to prevent them from taking the woman. The man flew into a rage upon hearing this, warning the woman that if she left, she should never think of returning to his home. The woman ignored him, and walked straight to the luxury car waiting at the hotel entrance. She asked the divine doctor to retrieve the video of the man's ex-wife framing her, as a farewell gift to the man. Meanwhile, the man planned to go home to punish the woman further. However, when he returned home, he found the house empty. He rushed into the bedroom to search, but only found a video file left behind by the woman. The ex-wife, knowing the video content would incriminate her, deliberately cut the power and claimed there was a blackout, to prevent the man from seeing the evidence of her framing the woman. At that moment, the man noticed the family portrait had also disappeared, and he felt a sudden pang of emptiness in his heart. Little did he know that he was about to lose the woman he loved most forever. Upon gaining her freedom, the woman immediately went to the hospital to visit the CEO. The CEO, as the woman's childhood sweetheart, had always hoped to marry her, and his nephew also wanted the woman to become his mother. Now seeing the woman return, the CEO decided to take her to attend the company banquet 3 days later, and planned to have her play a piano piece at the event. Meanwhile, the man learned that the Jiang Corporation CEO had recovered, and that the CEO's beloved would also appear in person. Since the man's company had a partnership with the CEO's, he instructed his assistant to purchase an expensive gift. Then he attended the banquet with his ex-wife and son. After the banquet began, the woman, dressed in white, took the stage first to play a piano piece for the guests. The guests praised her beauty, saying she looked like a goddess. Although they couldn't clearly see her face, the man felt a sense of familiarity. Even his son thought the woman looked like his stepmother. Although the woman had been the prodigious champion of the Chopin International Competition for 10 years, she had not touched a piano in 6 years. She made a mistake in her performance and was ridiculed by the onlookers, but soon the CEO encouraged her from the side, and she improvised to save the day playing a beautiful melody. Then the CEO appeared with his nephew to give a speech, publicly announcing that the woman was his childhood sweetheart, and that her efforts were the reason for his recovery. The guests in the audience clamored to see the woman's face. When the CEO lifted her veil, the ex-wife immediately shouted out the woman's name. Seeing the woman turn around, the man realized it truly was his wife. But in that moment, the woman seemed somewhat unfamiliar. He had never expected the woman he despised to be able to play the piano.